Have you ever wondered what lies beneath the Earth's surface, where scorching heat and untold treasures collide in a delicate dance of equilibrium? What happens when the very ground we walk upon conceals a ticking time bomb, threatening to reshape our world as we know it? In a realm where the Earth's secrets are buried beneath our feet, we invite you to join us on an extraordinary journey into the heart of climate change like no other. A challenge known as climate change, heat trapped under the surface. Sensor deployment. During a recent excursion beneath Chicago's iconic skyline, Alessandro Rotta-Loria, an assistant professor specializing in civil and environmental engineering at Northwestern University, highlighted the series of sensors his team had deployed throughout the city to monitor subterranean temperatures. These sensors, not much larger than a credit card, have been strategically positioned in over 100 locations, including parking garage, basement boiler rooms, and subway tunnels through downtown Chicago's loop. Their purpose? To vigilantly observe what Rotta-Loria refers to as unseen heat. Based on his research findings, air temperatures within artificial subterranean structures can register a remarkable 77 degrees Fahrenheit or 25 degrees Celsius, higher than the temperature of the surrounding, undisturbed ground. This phenomenon presents a unique menace, separate from global warming, yet carrying similar perils for both public health and critical infrastructure. As we delve into this, we discovered there's already a considerable amount of latent heat beneath our very feet, explained Rotta-Loria. This latent heat has already initiated ground deformation. Urban heat islands. An urban heat island refers to a metropolitan area experiencing notably higher temperatures than its neighboring environments, according to the EPA. Numerous U.S. cities exhibit air temperatures that can be up to 10 degrees Fahrenheit or 5.6 Celsius, warmer than the adjacent natural land cover. This temperature variation is typically more pronounced during nighttime than daytime and more prominent in winter compared to summer, especially when wind patterns are gentle. The primary culprits behind UHIs are alteration to land surface, resulting from urban development and release of waste heat stemming from energy consumption. As urban population expand, they typically modify larger land areas, leading to a corresponding rise in average temperatures. Heat island formation. Heat islands take shape when a greenery is replaced by asphalt and concrete, which become essential for accommodating expanding populations through the construction of roads, buildings, and various infrastructures. These surfaces absorb heat from the sun instead of reflecting it, leading to an increase both surface temperatures and overall ambient temperatures. The removal of trees and vegetations diminishes the natural cooling effect of the shade and evaporation of water from soil and leaves, known as evapotranspiration. Additionally, the presence of tall buildings and narrow streets can trap warm air and hinder air circulation. Furthermore, the release of waste heat from vehicles, factories, and air conditioning systems contributes to the localized warming, intensifying the heat island effect. The heat island can manifest year-round, be it day or night. Typically, the most significant temperatures disparities between urban and rural areas occur on calm, clear evenings. This is due to the fact that rural regions cool down more rapidly at night compared to cities, which retain more of the stored heat within their roads, buildings, and other structures. Consequently, the most pronounced urban-rural temperature contrast, or the peak of the heat island effect, is often observed approximately 3 to 5 hours after sunset. Subsurface climate change. The research, which was unveiled in July through a publication in the journal Nature, outlined how the accumulation of the heat beneath the Earth's surface is giving rise to a phenomenon termed subsurface climate change. This process poses a looming risk of causing subsidence in major urban centers, including metropolises such as Chicago, New York, and London. It's important to distinguish this subsurface climate change from atmospheric climate change, driven by greenhouse gas emission, resulting from fossil fuel combustion. In this case, subways and buildings release heat directly into the underlying layers of the Earth. As this heat disseminates, it induces ground deformation, potentially leading to the fissures and disruptions of city structures and essential infrastructure. While previous concerns have revolved around the potential subsidence of the cities due to excessive building loads, the propagation of heat in this manner can produce similar shifts in the landscape. Impact on urban areas. Rota-Loria emphasized that the escalating issue of increasing subterranean temperatures is a direct consequence of human presence on Earth, stemming directly from the construction of our infrastructures. He cautioned that this heightened heat retained in the ground poses significant threats to public health, the integrity of building structures, and the efficiency of public transportation. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg echoed these concerns, underlining the administration's commitment to addressing yet another climate-related challenge, ensuring the resilience of underground systems. There is a myth that the urban heat is to blame for climate change. This is not the case. Both urban and rural environments around the world are warming because there are more greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. In fact, some of the areas of the world that have warmed the most are located in the Arctic, far from cities. Urban areas are more vulnerable to heat. However, because of the amount warming caused by global climate change is compounded by the urban heat island effect, that means that the people who live in the cities are going to face higher temperatures and stronger heat waves in the future as the climate warms. More than half of the global population lives in urban areas today, and by the year 2050, the percentage of urban dwellers worldwide is expected to reach 70%. So the problem of the urban heat islands will continue to grow. Urban heat island may also contribute to climate change by increasing the demand of air conditioning. During heat waves, when the energy for that air conditioning comes from the burning of fossil fuels, this results in emission of heat-trapping greenhouse gases. Government initiatives. Buttigieg conveyed in an interview with NBC News, "We've reached a point where we can no longer afford to exclude this from our agenda. We're collaborating closely with states on this matter because it's possible that even the materials we use, such as cement, steel, or asphalt, may need to undergo adaptation to meet the demands of the 21st century, which are markedly distinct from those a century ago." Within the comprehensive climate agenda of Biden administration, numerous federally funded initiatives have been introduced via agencies such as the Federal Emergency Management Agency, the Department of Energy, and the Department of Transportation. These initiatives aim to incentivize municipalities to embark on location-specific projects, focused on both mitigation and resilience. Buttigieg emphasized the importance of maintaining adaptability as the world adjusts to the challenges of climate change, especially since many projects are executed over extended periods. He articulated this by saying, in the context of tax policy for instance, if an issue arises, you have the ability to address it swiftly, potentially seeing results in the very next year. However, when it comes to constructing enduring infrastructure like bridges, roads, tunnels, railroads, or airports, if the design and planning do not align with future needs, it commits us to a decision we'll have to live with for many decades. Back in Rota-Loria's laboratory, he meticulously transcribed the data gathered from the temperature sensors into a vividly colored heat map. This map vividly depicted his projections, revealing the alarming pace at which subterranean heat linked to buildings and parking structures has expanded and intensified over recent decades. If we draw a comparison between these phenomena and global warming, including the escalation of surface temperatures, it's remarkable that the underground temperatures in urban areas are actually rising at a swifter rate, Rota-Loria emphasized. Interestingly, the sole section of the map that remains unaltered over the same time span is the ground beneath Millennium Park, home to Chicago's renowned bean sculpture. Mitigation strategies. According to Rota-Loria, the route to mitigation, while expensive, remains fairly straightforward. It involves the installation of thermal insulation both below ground and within new construction to counterattack the dispersion of waste heat into the earth, thereby preventing these issues from arising. Alternatively, scientists propose harnessing this surplus heat for geothermal energy application, serving to heat and cool buildings. Remarkably, the estimated return on investment for such a venture is approximately 6 years, as highlighted by Rota Loria. As we conclude this exploration into the enigmatic world of climate challenge, heat trapped under the surface, we're left with a both heightened awareness of the underground climate crisis and a profound sense of responsibility. The unseen forces at play beneath our feet are a stark reminder that our actions, even those hidden below the surface, have far-reaching consequences. The urgency of addressing their subsurface climate change cannot be overstated. It's a challenge that affects our cities, our infrastructure, and the very ground we walk on. But it's also a challenge that offers us opportunities for innovation, adaptation, and sustainable solutions. As we move forward, let's not forget that knowledge is our most powerful tool. If you like this video, click the next one shown on the screen. I'm sure you'll like it. Thank you for watching.